Well, good morning. Welcome to the first edition of the Optimistic Economist. My name is Merle Dimbath, and I'm speaking to you from my home office here in Stuart, Florida. In my local area here, I'm sometimes referred to as the Optimistic Economist. It's not that I'm not aware of other problems in the world, but I try to keep a positive view on things. So if you are looking for a program on doom and gloom, this is not it. It's not that we won't be concerned about problems, but we try to take a positive approach and look at the world from different points of view and keep up to date with what's happening, but still with somewhat of a positive attitude. I always have the idea that, what if they give a recession and nobody comes? Or better yet, what if they give a recession and you decide not to come? That's perhaps even more appropriate for our program here. But today I'm going to do three things: tell you a little bit about myself, review a little bit about what economics is, and then one of our standard procedures will be to give you some type of economic insight or tool that you can use to try to become your own economist. That's one of our purposes here, to try to help you understand the world around you and in many ways be your own economist. As far as I'm concerned, I grew up in Miami, went to high school there, and made good grades, and I enjoyed geometry. I was always pretty good at math, but for some reason, geometry really interested me. I thoroughly enjoyed studying the circles and the squares and the triangles and the angles and so forth, and I just found it very interesting, and made A's, straight A's in geometry. I just loved it. But I was also very much interested at that time in current events and world affairs and politics and so forth. And so my goal was to go to college, major in political science or foreign studies or something, and then maybe go to law school and study international law, go join the State Department, and be in the diplomatic corps, maybe become an ambassador. That never happened. I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to the University of Virginia, Mr. Jefferson's academic village, because there's the Woodrow Wilson School of Foreign Affairs there, and I was going to go and major in foreign affairs. Woodrow Wilson was one of their alums, and hence the name of the school. Well, it just so happens that in my second year there, I took an elective course, what I thought would be an elective course, in economics, the basic introductory economics course. And lo and behold, didn't you know that all of economics has lines and graphs and so forth, and now there were dollar signs connected with it. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is for me. So changed majors and decided to major in economics, in business. And my timing was very good, because at that time, and I'm talking now about the 1950s, and the economics department at Virginia was and still is very, very strong. And James Buchanan was chairman of the economics department. James Buchanan later received the Nobel Prize in economics for his work on public choice and other fiscal policy matters. And he got the new Nobel Prize, as I recall, in 1986. He was chairman of the department. Also, the faculty was great. One of my professors there was James Schlesinger, who later became, he was Secretary of Defense, and I think in the CIA under Nixon and Ford, and then later, I think was, as I recall, was the first Secretary of Energy under President Carter. So he had later on a very distinguished career in government, but he was on the faculty there. I think 2 semesters of money and banking with Dr. Schlesinger. So I was off to a good start. Was fortunate enough to get a fellowship to pursue graduate studies at the University of Florida, and did so, and was able to get the PhD there in 1964. So that's a little bit of my background. I've had academic experience. I've been on the faculty of several universities. I finished my career at Florida Atlantic University, where I taught in the MBA program there. I also had a private economic consulting practice, and so that's somewhat of my background there. And I've done a few other things, but that summarizes my situation to date. And obviously, I'm retired from academia, and I retired a few years ago from my own consulting practice. And now we are enjoying life, going back and forth between Stewart and Key West, hence the name Conch Economist. You may know that sometimes Key West is referred to as the Conch Republic, hence my name on my page here on my channel, Optimistic Economist at Conch Economics. And so that brings us up to date now. As far as economics is concerned, there's a lot of definitions, and you can find them on YouTube or on Google. In fact, on that point, I don't plan to really teach a course in economics here. I plan to share with you some things that I have learned and experienced in economics, and also give you a tidbit of information, try to help you be your own economist. But if you want a formalized, orderly presentation of economics, then there are other YouTube channels that do this quite well, and I would encourage you to look into those, because that would give you a systematic presentation. I don't plan to teach this, to present this like I'm teaching a class. We're going to be discussing things of current events and of concern to people. And so that would lead us now to a discussion of economics and a definition.